Hey everyone, it's Candace A, and welcome back to my channel, Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience. Last week, I did an extensive overview of the topics in my first series, Field House Boardroom. I know, trust me. I know it was a lot of content to unpack with numerous topics for the series. Yet I wanted to give you an outline and show you kind of how I'll be delivering my content. My goal overall is to increase your capacities at which you can reach your own epiphanies in regards to each of these subjects because you all have your own stories, and I guarantee you're going to have quite a few aha moments. So today, I'll be diving into the topic of the origin of the divide. So without further ado, I'll hop into my next episode. So as you can see, this slide is a slide that I use for my introduction video. So it'll always coincide just for those who want to follow along and kind of understand like, oh, which topic was this? This is just so you have a little bit more context. But so as I said, as mentioned in my previous video, the origin of the divide, it's rooted in slavery. African Americans were divided into groups based upon traits and features. These groups were then divided into two groups, those who worked in the field and those who worked in the house. Field slaves were subjected to work in harsher conditions, work longer hours, and endure physical labor. On the other hand, house slaves were tasked with domestic duties, such as cooking, cleaning, and caring for the slave owner's family. This division created a hierarchy, where house slaves often being seen as superior to field slaves. This mentality has been passed down through generations, manifesting in modern-day workplaces. The field mentality is characterized by hard work, resilience, and resourcefulness. It's the ability to thrive in challenging environments and make do with limited resources. This is often associated with blue-collar jobs, such as construction, manufacturing, and agriculture. In modern-day workplaces, the field mentality is often undervalued and overlooked. Employees with this mentality often are expected to work long hours, meet tight deadlines, and perform physically demanding tasks without adequate recognition or compensation. The house mentality, on the other hand, is characterized by the traits of being polished, having refinement, and being a strategic thinker. It's the ability to navigate complex social dynamics, build relationships, and communicate effectively. This mentality is often associated with white-collar jobs, such as management, finance, and marketing. In the modern-day workplace, the house mentality is often valued and rewarded. Employees with this mentality are often given more autonomy, flexibility, and opportunities for advancement. The field and house mentality creates a divide in modern-day workplaces. Employees with the field mentality often feel undervalued, overworked, and overlooked. They may struggle to advance in their careers or secure better pay and benefits. On the other hand, employees with the house mentality may feel entitled, privileged, and disconnected from the realities of the workplace. They may struggle to understand and relate to their colleagues who they feel have a field mentality. So let me give you a few examples of how this can be seen in modern day workplaces. Have you ever heard it's a privilege to work within leadership? Well, this actually aligns with a system of oppression, which rewards proximity to power. How so, you might ask? Well, it echoes how house slaves were treated as more refined, and the counter opposite was treatment for field slaves. Again, you have to understand and remember the historical concept. Another example would literally be the act of policing identity and respectability complex, which is forced assimilation and appearance of etiquette, and the self-policing within our communities that we do to one another. Just a few more examples would be considered gatekeeping and competition for limited inclusion. So I can guarantee you that for each of my videos, I will always give you solutions and not just retell you a problem. I want to talk about some steps to dismantle these mentalities because both of them have to be dismantled. One way to combat this is to understand your historical roots, and that is the entire purpose and reason for my series. You have to understand the history to comprehend what is happening in modern day. The next thing is addressing internalized racism and colorism, because yes, there is internalized racism and colorism in our own people, within ourselves, that is demonstrated at times, such as with our words and our choices. But we have to know where it comes from. We also have to build unity from our shared stories and struggles, and have the conversations to create a safe space for dialogue, because far too often, we don't think about what someone else is going through. And if you need me to prove it, I sure will. Think about the word confidential. It's a label that's stamped on the truth, our pain, our stories. Essentially, it's a way to change the narrative. And I know in modern day corporate workspaces, this word is used a lot. But you know what we have? Knowledge. And knowledge is power. The field and house mentality are a legacy of slavery that continues to impact modern day workplaces. It's important to understand these mentalities in order to break free from the cycle of oppression. Dismantling it means reclaiming power, healing wounds, and refusing to replicate systems designed to keep people apart. True liberation lies in the collective freedom and not comparison. So, in the words of Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. I want to take the time to say thank you so much for watching my video, Origin of the Divide, for the first breakdown of the series of Field House Boardroom. This has been my brainchild, and we are definitely in the infancy stage, but I am trying to crack out this content so that you are consistently filled with information. This has been fun and challenging at the same time, because I'm getting so much like positive feedback that it's like, okay, you started this, so ain't no stopping this now, okay? This train is a rolling. So I'm trying to, learn, grow in regards to the content and how my audience learns and how my audience can receive information. And so I really, truly, truly appreciate all of the positive feedback that I've in fact been receiving. And I want to thank you again from my heart. Thank you so much. As you'll see on here, I did put the places to where you can in fact follow me in regards to, of course, YouTube, but also in regards to Instagram and TikTok. And I'll also put down my email, because I do want this to be like a reciprocal olive branch, to where I am able to hear from you and your experiences of surviving and thriving, because you will consistently get examples from me in regards to things that I've personally had to overcome and how I've thrived through them. And also, that's the entire purpose of this entire series, okay? So we are going to be one big family, all right? I told you about that table. Your seat is right here. So with that being said, I would ask, because I've been told to ask not, want not, if you can just go ahead and share this. Like, share, subscribe, and share this. You don't got to send it to 1,000 people. If you got 1,000 people to send it to, so be it. But if not, if you can just send it to one person that you feel that this would resonate with, that would be great. I really appreciate it. Next week, I'll be going over the legacy of survival tactics, and coming up soon, there'll actually be an interview. So I'm really excited, very geeked to be able to have this conversation and to keep this train rolling, right? So from surviving and thriving the Black experience, I humbly thank you and have a blessed day.